Ladies and gents, welcome to the video. I'm GetGoodGuy, and today, just kind of a quick talk, or rather just not an in-depth talk, just for me to lay some stuff out. Every now and again I do kind of an update video that combines BF5 with this channel and what's to come, etc. And I intend to do some in-depth videos about some of these subjects in the coming days and weeks, but I wanted to get this out today to sort of get the ball rolling on it, and say what I think is important, because I think Battlefield is in real trouble. I'm worried about it. Not just Battlefield 5, I mean this series as a whole. And now some people will say, well, it's been like that for ages, and maybe so, but I think right now is a key point in time where it's very, very clear for a multitude of reasons that weren't apparent before, or at least not all apparent before. So let me stress, I really am worried about the Battlefield series. Let me ask, how many of you remember Medal of Honor? If you don't, if you're too young, at one point, Medal of Honor was arguably the most popular and successful FPS title on the market. Certainly where console was concerned. What's my point? Well, nothing is ever too big to fail, because Medal of Honor has almost been totally forgotten by most people. Nothing is ever beyond cancellation or irrelevancy when it's mismanaged and doesn't deliver. When the competition moves ahead and the developers of that game lose sight of what the community wants. Does any of that sound familiar to you? Now, there hasn't been a Medal of Honor game since 2012. 8 years, that is. It's finally getting a new one this year, it seems, but it looks like being a VR experience, a departure from what Medal of Honor was and how it dominated the market before. And do you know who published Medal of Honor? EA Games. And the name of a prominent studio that worked on multiplayer aspects of Medal of Honor? DICE. And so none of this is complaints. I'm not going over the same stuff over and over again. I'm laying out how I feel right now and why I think things are more dire right now than they've been before, and why I also think it's important that if you care about this title, you're one, made aware of this, and two, voice your opinion on what needs to be different. So with that in mind, let's now consider Battlefield. Lots of creators have moved on. You know, it's very evident. Even a lot of the big ones don't cover Battlefield 5 all that much, and they're off playing other games, and they just drop a Battlefield video here and there, and honestly, that's perfectly sensible. I've still been here grinding with, you know, little interruption really. But times are really, really, really bad. I can see my analytics and see that I still get pretty good watch time, sometimes above or way above the average for YouTube, and strong click-through rate. Two things that make a huge difference on how much your content can grow and spread. And yet the viewership is in steep decline. Even over the space of just like a month, it's dropped off a cliff. And I don't mean just for me, I mean for Battlefield in general. And so it's time. I now need to actually be putting out some other stuff just here and there. And I've said this before multiple times, but now it has to happen. When I said this most recently, Battlefield 5 then kind of bounced back. There was a lot of hype in kind of February-ish time as the TTK changed and there was stuff to talk about, but it was short-lived and it was probably always going to be. And so while I enjoyed that and benefited from that, it's time to understand that we're going to go through another very lean period, at least until the next update, which is at least another month, 2 months away or so, and we don't know how that'll turn out either. So expect some different things. I don't know exactly what they're going to be, but I'm going to do my best to try to do things that will at least interest some people already subscribed, because there's no point me putting out just Destiny again, because it didn't work, unfortunately. It was too different to Battlefield. But don't expect new stuff straight away. I've still got some stuff midway through completion on Battlefield, which I'll probably release first. And yeah, the interest in this game is just shrinking dramatically now, and that's another reason why I'm so worried about the title. We're not that far into this game's life cycle compared to how much we've got left. It's very, very early for it to just almost completely die off. Servers being shut down, video views being down, complaints in all the forums, all that kind of stuff. And there's no new game until at least next year for Battlefield. All the while, Warzone is hurting sales, I believe, plus any other games coming out. There'll be a lot of games coming out before the next Battlefield, and it'll probably continue to hurt the sales or playing time of BF5. And it's entirely possible that a lot of the studio has now moved on to Battlefield 6. It's not really talked about that much, but that really could be the case. They will definitely be already working on it because of how long you need to actually make a game, but we don't know to what degree. It could be a huge amount. That would be pretty awful for Battlefield 5 and would explain a lot of the problems and delays and lack of content and bugs, and I could go on. The only upside would be if that makes Battlefield 6 awesome when it comes out, and that would help to save the series. I and many of you don't want to see this series die. The next one has to be great. It has to not be flawed like this game, not have all the PR issues of this game, and a big one, not released in a bad state. great. Because everyone says, well, Battlefield always releases poorly and then recovers. That's not acceptable, and Battlefield 5 has shown that it doesn't always recover. If you risk that, people will lose interest and your game will die. And so, as I said, just trying to be brief. I'm not going into too much detail today, but that is the current reality I want you to be aware of, and how things are set to move forwards at the minute for the game and for my channel. And as I said, I'll be covering some of these topics much more closely in individual videos soon. And so, as I now like to do, and as people have been saying they've been enjoying, we'll do it again today. We're going to balance out the less happy stuff with some entertainment that most of you won't have seen because it's from way back, something I made a long time ago that I really enjoyed and got a good reception. I'm not going to tell you what it is this time, just enjoy and let me know what you think of these issues today in the comments below, or what you think of the fun content that's about to come. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. I love you. Peace out. Game over. Or if you don't understand, don't matter. Goodbye. We begin with essentially the ultimate test of a shotgun main, right in there with the very hardest of tasks to open with, a goddamn desert. This place involves so much running that it chafes my undercarriage, just rubbing against my legs. I feel like the tagline for this kind of battle should be, you don't have to be a marathon runner to work here, but it helps. So if you're one of those superhuman Africans from the Olympics, then you're probably going to be okay. But I'm not from Ethiopia, meaning this sort of situation is a nightmare for a shotgun main like myself. We have to get right up close to people in order to be effective. Lots of closing gaps and being evasive. And when this works, it's great. But obviously there are lots of times when this doesn't work. Lots of times. Oh look, a guy lying down, unseen in the dirt. What a novelty. Anyway, let me tell you what shotgun mains love more than almost anything else. Totally oblivious snipers. All we have to do is listen out for the sound of their painfully missed attempts at picking people off from across the map. Then move quickly and efficiently and splatter them into the dirt. Oh, and absolute bonus points if they have a respawn beacon right where they died. Now all we have to do is stay around this area and see if they're airbrained enough to spawn right back in here. Then when they inevitably do, you smash them with buckshot again. Happy days. And we really do have to get our kicks like this as shotgun mains. We don't have the luxury of being able to really challenge at range. Pretty much every living second is a heart attack waiting to happen, never knowing if you're hopelessly fumbling about in someone else's crosshairs. So when opportunities for fun present themselves, you take them. Such as this champ I found using an anti-air gun. I get physically excited about him having no idea that I'm about to fulfill the role of the Grim Reaper. I paste a big smile on my face and end his sad existence. But let's take this back a little bit. Remember what I said about having to run everywhere? Well, sometimes you get lucky and you find a vehicle, but you can't get yourself too comfortable. You never know when an opportunity will literally run right by you, at which point it's back to boots on the ground for a surprise execution. Lovely jabbly. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, sometimes this war gets me down. Not so much my friends dying or the constant ringing in my ears, because as a shotgun main I don't have any friends anyway, but no, it's more so the whole getting flattened by huge rockets from the sky thing. I don't recommend that, but I was a late reinforcement for this desert battle. So when I really started to make my mark was running around the snowy mountaintops of Norway. Oh yes, I truly made my presence felt in the land of... What's Norway famous for? That ginger dude from Game of Thrones? Whatever. This is where I really hit my stride. Oh, let's just pause this to take out another oblivious sniper. Alright, carry on. Hold on, this dude is just lying here chilling on the ground. F*** him. alas, my efforts could not save us from defeat. We were resoundingly taken down. Yet, I pulled out a respectable second place, although that did make me kinda question what other people on the team were doing, considering I'm putting in that performance with a shotgun, but I put that thought aside, wrote it off as one bad performance from my team, and quickly sprinted across to the next battle, amongst the swampy bushes and twisted steel of a rainy area of France. Yes, the land of baguettes and croissants was the scene of my— that's a terrible French accent. That was the scene of my next wartime activities. Now I'm really in the zone, challenging the enemy to run at me, backing myself to survive each engagement and prove my worth to those who say I can't succeed by being a shotgun main. What do they know? I have raw killing potential at my disposal. Each body dropping feels better than the last. I'm gonna move like a ninja through the bushes, the trees, the water. Hey look, another guy lying down. But still, even having tasted death, I have no fear. The shotgun gods resurrect me again, and I charge forwards to fill people with my meaty package. That package being a lethal blast from my shotgun, nothing weird. I run headlong at the enemy, ready to dwindle their numbers. I have trained for years for these moments, hours in my backyard, visualizing each and every fight, running in circles around my lawn and chanting, I am the one and only. There ain't nobody I'd rather be. I am the one and only. You can't take that away from me. Fun fact, that was #1 in the UK on the day I was born. It was a one-hit wonder for Chesney Hawks. You can look it up. Anyway, back in the fight, and I spot some vehicles rolling by in the distance. I think to myself, I'll just plop a couple of anti-tank mines down here. I wonder if they'll come in handy later on. Obvious foreshadowing is obvious. Look, I never claimed to be making an M. Night Shyamalan movie, okay? I proceed to then have an engagement which highlights the main difficulty for a shotgun main: range. No matter how many shots I land, this dude will not die. And I make a mental note to myself to test out slug rounds a little later on to remedy this problem. Now, as by this point we're friends, I'll share a bit of personal info about myself. In my time away from battle, I enjoy walking my cat, painting pictures purely of the weird lad called Elijah that lives down the road from me, and as you can see here, base jumping. I'm a man of many talents, and thankfully I enjoy a good swim as well, which brought me this wonderful moment where I got to execute a less able swimmer and improve our chances of victory. And I have another suggestion here, straight from the shotgun main playbook, of how to keep your morale high. Approach people who are reviving. Let them think they're gonna manage to complete it, and then shoot them at the very last second. This really helps to put me in a good mood. And I continued to be in a good mood as I toyed with this individual. I'll let you just watch this one play out. Yeah, I also have no idea what he was doing, and actually this is a common theme in war. There are many times where I should clearly be bested by an enemy with a weapon that can kill past 5 meters, and yet they managed to screw it up. It's quite incredible. Oh, and side note, those mines came in useful. I really am a tactical genius. Now, it's not the weapon that's important, you see, people. It's the man who wields it, his fortitude, his attitude, his ability. So next time your significant other complains about your weapon, just tell them that I said it's an irrelevant point and storm out the front door to battle, or the pub. Either is good really, the club, wherever you want to go, that's not the point. Now I have another morale booster for you. Let people get into their hiding spot, let them think they're safe and get nice and comfortable, then you kill them. Bonus for their body dropping, give it a quick teabag, and then slay his 2 stupid mates as well. It's a really good day to be alive. And it only gets better as even more of my enemies appear to be legally blind, allowing me to add more kills to my ever-growing collection. No, I don't think you should bully blind people, but they signed up for this war, so what am I gonna do? Now, yet another tip for you. Employ mind games. Sometimes, let the enemy think they're gonna kill you, and then boom, tables turned, that mini victory is yours. Oh, and also, hide and seek. Great game. The only difference here from the one you played in school is that the loser has their guts blown out. I played it in this battle. I'll let you just watch how it plays out and see who wins. Oh look, I won. Fancy that. Oh, and you know what? I'll take this guy's soul as well. Oh, and this dude lying down, I'll take him too. And after all that effort, we lose. By a lot. And I realize I finished top. Now I want to know what everyone else on the team is doing. Horrendous. You must show me some respect as a shotgun main. I'm beating all these plebs with actual ranged weapons. But if I calm myself, on to the next battle. We're over in Rotterdam, and I switched to slug rounds for a little bit more range. So I'm back to putting bodies on the ground, blowing open chests and taking names. but then I get in a bit of a tough spot, can't land my shots and flee the scene. Take up a tactical position in a doorway, slay the dude as he chases, and then tell myself it's absolutely not camping, nuh-uh, no way, nope, nope, onwards, and then the fun continues. Tight spaces are my bread and butter. Ain't nobody gonna take me out here. I'm a shotgun main, goddammit. That was until I realized that using slug rounds requires that little bit more extra aiming effort, and I decided I couldn't be arsed with that, so I went back to buckshot easy mode. So I returned to the fight. I drag scope this dude as if I'm Fabian Chills with a sniper rifle. I proceed to send a few more people to the afterlife in a hail of glory and shotgun-filled excitement, which is a feeling like no other, and one I shall never give up. And then I come across a vehicle, an enemy vehicle, and to show my sheer versatility as a shotgun main, I rushed it, dropped down my anti-tank mines, shoot them with my trusty shotgun, and destroy the damn thing. All that was left to do after that show of pure skill was to victory quit the battle, as it's way too much effort to play as a shotgun main for that length of time. It's absolutely not worth it, and I don't recommend it to anyone. And that's the life of a shotgun main. Smiley face. Tip number 8, use leaning. Now, I'm not a massive fan of the lean function in Battlefield 5 because I don't think it works all that well, but when it does, it can be very effective, and it's something I'm trying to use more. I implore you to do the same. You can do it manually or auto leaning depending on your own settings.